From the headlines to the heart of the matter, this is your favorite weekend political analysis show, Beyond the Story, where we delve deeper behind the headlines and get to understand, give you unfiltered analysis of the stories that made headline over the week. This week, it was a busy court week at the Accra High Court. The 49 million National Signal Bureau scandal was at the court. This week, the third accused in the case, Madam Mildred Donko, was discharged. She offered to become a prosecution witness for the state. We delve deeper and see what happened in court. Again, Alan Tremantin's movement for change is now the United Party. Are they a formidable political party that will become a third force in the Ghanaian political landscape? We'll delve deeper to see what is in store for the UP party in the Ghanaian political landscape. And then finally, the Black Stars of Ghana have qualified for the 2026 World Cup. What is in store? The state broadcaster, the Ghana television, did not even broadcast any of the Black Star matches. We'll delve deeper and see what we can do to fix that situation ahead of the 2026 World Cup. And then, of course, some call-ups, expectations. We'll look at all of them for Beyond the Stories this weekend. Stay with me as I introduce, or as I have this conversation with my colleague, Job Kobina Labuza, and of course, Philip Abutiate from the Bullet Newsroom for this week's Beyond the Stories. My name is Prince Kwame Kuduga, and let's start right from the Accra High Court, which has been very busy this week, looking into the cases of the 49 million National Signal Bureau scandal. Boahene was in court this week, but there was a twist to the whole matter at the Accra High Court. On Friday, Madam Mildred, or the third accused person, was discharged by the Accra High Court, but not without a bit of challenge from the defense lawyer, Samuel Atacha, in court on Friday, when the AG notified the court that he is dropping all charges against Madam Mildred. Samuel Atacha, who is the lead defense lawyer, or the lawyer for Boahene and his wife, raised objection that, look, the AG cannot only come to court to just notify the court that they are dropping all charges against Madam Mildred or the third accused in this case. The lawyers argue that the AG must come in the form of a motion, but of course, the trial judge, Justice John Nyedunyante, did not agree with that. Of course, he overruled that objection, and finally, Madam Mildred was discharged. Again, lawyer Atecha also raised, an objection, pleading with the court or praying the court that the whole trial should be put on hold or should be stayed for now. What are his reasoning? His reasonings are that at the beginning of the trial, the defense requested for some documents to be disclosed to them. That disclosure did not happen because the court did not make them available. They believe that those documents or disclosure will go a long way to help them in, pushing their defense. But the court did not make the decision that those documents are not really needed. That decision by the court did not sit well with the defense lawyers. They filed an appeal at the appeals court. So on Friday in court, they were pleading the court that, look, let the court stay all prosecution or stay the trial itself until this decision of the court of the appeals court comes, which they believe that would have an effect on the turn of the event. But of course, the court also overruled that and said that, look, the two prosecution or the two trials can be going on concurrently. So that's the state of the case at the Accra High Court. Let's start with Laboja. Laboja, what do you make of the fact that the Madam Mildred, who was standing trial with Mr. Boahene and his wife, Angela, has decided that, look, I'm going to give witness against them, and so all charges against them has been dropped. Let's start from you.
Oh, so you mean Mildred, who is an employee of Boahene?
Yeah, so Mildred used to be an employee at UMB Bank.
Okay.
Then she met Boahene at church.
Okay.
So at Cedar Mountain Assemblies of God, where Boahene celebrated his 30 years birthday at church. So she was introduced to Boahene by their pastor, who is now the general secretary, I think, or the president of the Assemblies of God churches nationwide, Pastor Wingam. So that is where their relationship started until she left UMB in 2017 and met Edu Boahene, who she requested that Edu Boahene should find a job for her. That is where their relationship started, and she became an employee of Edu Boahene.
And now there's a case, and they were all being charged.
Of course.
And now Madam has decided to choke Chama.
Well, interestingly, on Friday in court, the lawyer for Edu Boahene, Samuel Atacha, has reason to say that, Mildred is now the lover of the AG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. And it was a live moment in court on Friday. And so, yeah, of course.
Yeah, for me, it's an interesting case. Looking at where this matter started, it tells me one thing, that if you are given a public office, know that there's a day that you'll be called to account. And so what we are witnessing now is just a matter of democracy and the rule of law at play. Because we are a country that believes that you don't just pick up on somebody and then take the person to court. You must follow due process, and you must allow the person to pass through the legal processes for a court of competent jurisdiction, as you lawyers will say. And I know you spend more of your times at the court, and so you are aware of something. So it's just democracy at play, and I just hope and pray that this matter will get to its logical conclusion, and then the states, as well as whoever is involved, the right things are done for us to strengthen our democracy. And whenever you are given a position, know that a day will come and you have to account.
Of course. A day will come and you have to account. So, for example, on Friday in court, the state prosecution witness, who is the director of finance at the National Signal Bureau, was a witness or mounted the witness stand. Laboda and Philip, the lady was taken through what she gave witness statement of all that Edu Boahene has instructed her to do when she was her boss. So, for example, she signed a check of 21 million Ghana cedis. She worked on a check of 21 billion Ghana cedis signed by Edu Boahene and instructed to, deposit it there. All that Edu Boahene did when he was, director at the National Signal Bureau, you could see that everything was on trial. So, of course, it goes to reinforce the statement that if you are given an office, you should work as to whether or as if you are going to give account for it one day. But Philip, let's come to what do you make of the whole, turn of events?
I'm interested in the lady now making a turn. So she's now what? She's now
a witness in the case
against Edu Boahene.
Yes, against Edu Boahene, for the state against Edu Boahene.
Did she give any reason? I mean, what was their relationship like? Did she give any reason for making that U-turn?
So, you see, in the trial, the AG. So this case is for the Attorney General. Is for the AG's case.
States.
Yes. So in court and law and all those things, there are bargains, play bargains. You can say that, look, in this case, for example, the AG might look at the evidence at hand and say that if we go to trial with Madame Mildred, we will not be able to have a conviction for her. So if you look at the evidence at hand, the evidence may go against Edu Boahene. So look, let's have a deal. Okay, so I'm sure she took a deal with the AG and said that, look, we'll not try you again. Just give us evidence. Let's try Edu Boahene. And it is allowed.
Okay, so coming to a deal with the AG, I think there's already a deal. The deal is that you drop the charges against me, and then I become a witness for you because I was involved in it. So it's not like
so there's something in for her.
So what is in for her is that she was also being accused.
Yes,
but now the charges will be dropped.
They are all dropped.
And I understand there were even 4 charges. Yes. I don't know if you remember any of them, but I understand there were 4 charges.
There were 4 charges.
Aiding and abetment to commit crime, which means that she helped Edu Boahene to commit the crime that she's been.
No, so this is tricky. So if there's something in for her, is she not likely to? I don't know. I'm not saying because it's in court. Of course, it can't be prejudicial. But is she not likely to do anything just to get the charges dropped against her? No. Or maybe the courts will do due diligence. I mean, I trust the competence.
So, I'm coming in 1 minute. Let me give this so quickly. Look, the caliber of person that we have as an AG, Dr. Ayine, is a lecturer of law, one who has trained lawyers, an experienced man of law. And so I don't believe that AG, Dr. Dominic Ayine, will go for a plea bargain that would not benefit him. or take a deal that will not benefit him. I'm very sure that the AG looked at the evidence at hand and said that, look, if I go to trial with these Madam Mildred charges
Right.
and evidence, I may not be able to get a conviction for her, but I may be able to use her evidence and her testimony to get a conviction for Edu Boahene. So I'm sure that it is a give and take deal,
Right.
of course. So
It's
I'm,
very tricky, very funny. I'm just interested in seeing how this whole case will pan out, the final outcome. It's a very interesting one.
So I understand over the week something else happened aside. I understand the case has been adjourned.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I also understand there was another application by the Edu Boahene's lawyers to prevent this matter from being heard until something is done. Can you throw more light on that?
Yes, so you know that from the beginning of the case or the trial itself, we call something disclosures.
Yeah.
So in disclosure, the prosecution will have to, or the AG's department, which is the prosecution in this case, will bring all the evidence they'll be relying on, or document they'll be relying on to prove their case in court. They will give it to the defense. The defense will also bring their documents and witnesses that they'll be relying on to prove their case to the prosecution. Now, when it got to that stage of disclosure, the defense were requesting from some documents which were classified as confidential, and so the AG department, or the AG, who is now represented in court by the Deputy AG Justice Stream side, said that, look, these documents you are requesting for are confidential, and that even if we give them to you, or whether you have it or not, it will not be consequential to your case. And so the judge ruled that, of course, then that is it. But the defense, which is Edu Boahene's lawyers, were not happy with that. So they went to the appeals court to go and appeal that decision of the High Court. That is what they came back to the Accra High Court today to come and say that we have a case at the High Court, which is an appeal, at the appeals court, which is ongoing. So stay this one until that case is decided.
Okay.
Then you can come back. But the judge, Justice Nadu Nante, did not agree with that, and he overruled that.
So for me, this is not the first time we've seen something like that being denied.
Of course.
The defendant or
No,
something.
no.
Because we recall cases when Afenyo Markins and all these things, Tajos Sorry,
And all
who
those
has
things.
filed a lot of applications then, and then it was denied. And these are just public cases that
Of
let me say,
public
are on the
interest.
public
Yes,
domain.
yes.
And so there are several other cases that such applications are denied.
Yes.
I remember even when I was a student lawyer at GIJ, it wasn't easy. Sometimes you file an application, you think in your mind that this application must be given to me because it will help bring justice, but you'll be denied.
be
Yes,
And
denied.
so,
it is your right as a lawyer or as a counsel to file an application, but it is the court's right to either grant or deny your application. So just as we are wrapping up on this conversation, it is worthy to know that in the NSS ghost name and whatever scandal, that case was also supposed to be called today, and the police of the two defendants, Madam Gifty Oware Mensah and the former director Osei Sibi, to be taken. Those two cases did not happen today because, in fact, today in court, did not happen on Friday because in court on Friday, the defense lawyer for, in fact, Mr. Sibet came to court wearing an African print. He said he got notification only 2 hours to time. But we are looking forward to that trial also starting, and then we'll see what happened. But of course, all these cases are high-stake cases under the government oral, Operation Recover All Roots cases. So we'll pay attention closely to all these cases and bring them to you. But let's move on to our next issue on the table for discussion, which is that Alan Kojo-Chimantin's movement for change is now the United Party, UP.
Plus.
UP Plus Party. And we know the UP tradition of the New Patriotic Party, and we know where Alan Kojo-Chimantin and his people were coming from. Philip, you were at the launch of that UP Plus Party. What the caliber of people we saw there, will you say the UP Plus Party is a party that will bring the third force that will break the duopoly between the NDC and the NPP? As a journalist, unfiltered.
Well, Prince Laboja, you know who Alan is. He was at the Ministry of Trade. He served in various capacities.
Philip, a minute to just before you bring your point, you were at that event and you had a report. Let's take a look at that and look at the caliber of people who were there, the speeches, and see what we make of it as journalists.
Ladies and gentlemen, chiefs, farmers, businessmen came together to help consolidate the United Party. Nobody can claim absolute control. I'm always confused when I hear that others talk about Dankwa, Dombo, Buzia. You are talking of tripartite, but this is 7 teams that came together. Have you forgotten of Ayeke? Have you forgotten of SG Anto? Have you forgotten of Modestu Sapalu, Amadou Baba, Baba Ladan, Chiroma, and the rest? When you come, you talk of 3.
The second major intervention we are asking of the Constitution Review Commission is to abolish the Council of State as interest of Ghanaians. We want to replace it with a second chamber made up of all of us, non-political people. So we want a second chamber where there will be farmers, there will be fishermen, there will be traders, there will be artisans, there will be drivers, there will be nurses, there will be doctors, there will be academics, there will be students, there will be religious leaders, everybody else.
UP is a broad base, that's number 1. It is a center or centrist party, 2. And then it seeks to build a united Ghana. And number 4, accelerate the economic and social transformation of our country. Number 6, by mobilizing the collective strengths and talents of all Ghanaians. If Ghana is to be considered, all of us, as an army, then we are marching on half strength.
They are guided as united as an army to move into the political arena of the Republic of Ghana.
Yes.
This is not the first time we are seeing a breakaway from politics. In fact, we saw the Nana Konadu dance broke away from the NDC and they formed another party. We don't know how. We also saw how it ended. Philip, you were there. Tell us.
Yeah, so if you look at the caliber of people that were there, right? So the interim chairman is Alhaji Boniface. We have the chief scribe in Babi and Samoa. We have the leader, Alan Kojo Chairman. These are all people who were with the New Patriotic Party. Now, they noted that all these people I've mentioned are interim leaders. They believe that this is a party, their ideology is more of inclusion. So they are there for the physically challenged, they are there for the youth, for the ordinary Ghanaian, for the women, for everybody that, typically will not find his way easily into Ghana's political space. And so they believe that, well, their doors are opened and Ghanaians need a change to break the NPP-NDC duopoly, which has been there for a very long time. And the whole history of the United Party. There was a United Party in Ghana's First Republic. This was a force of people, groups coming together. I'm told more than 7 groups. We had people financing the market women, farmers. And so they believe that they want to revive the ideologies of that United Party, which competed Kwame Nkrumah in the First Republic. And that's hence the new United Party. But they want to do more. That's where the plus is coming from. So United Party Plus or UP 2.0.
Okay.
Right? So that's the ideology of Alan. And as I was saying, if you know the kind of person Alan is, he understands the issue. He's been particularly at the Ministry of Trade, the initiatives he undertook. And so he is more of development oriented. In fact, they have what they call their Vision 2040. They are saying by 2040, Ghana should have a total economic turnaround. And that is what they will be selling in the next general election that we'll be going into. And so a lot of ideas, a lot of vision. I was excited hearing some of the things. I'm like, okay, this sounds exciting, but it's left with execution.
Execution.
It's left with
because when you're
execution.
talking about excitement on visions and all those things, in fact, we've been in this country, we saw political party manifestos. If all those manifesto policies and promises were implemented to the fullest, Ghana would have been a very changed country by this time.
And you see, they are calling for a review of their constitution, particularly the part that talks about going into runoffs when there's no clear winner during the first round. They are saying that, look, the Constitution Review Committee and all those people reviewing the Constitution should take a look at that. And so if the 3 of us, myself, Prince Laboja, go into election and I don't get 50% plus 1 vote, but let's say I get 41 or 47%, there's no need going into a rerun. I should be compelled to go for the so-called smaller parties to form sort of like an alliance government with them.
Okay.
So that winner doesn't take all, but winner plus the smaller parties. That way, the smaller parties like themselves will get on board, would implement some of their plans. And so that's one interesting proposal that they are bringing on board, which I think will ensure inclusion again. It will eliminate the whole winner takes all
policy
thing.
that
So
we-
it's interesting and exciting, really, for me.
But Philip says that he was there. He saw the policies that they outlined. He saw the caliber of people in the new UP Plus party. Laboda, you've been in this space for a while. We all have been here. Laboda, do you think that the UP Plus party is a formidable one to break the duopoly between the NDC and the MVP as a journalist?
I I'm laughing because of the passion with which my brother Philip was given, probably because he was there. What was their motto again? You don't know yet.
No, I do. I think Ghana will work again.
Ghana
I
will
need to
work-
refer to my
Ghana
notes.
will work again.
Yes.
But the way you were excited there, I'm sure by now you've taken your membership card. And so for me, it's interesting.
Yeah.
We're in a democracy. That's the beauty of it. You and I, if we have the money and we can put up the structures, can have a party. A nice proposals as you just outlined.
And I've got a motto. So if they say UP, you say Ghana first. UP,
Ghana
party,
first.
papa,
Oh,
UP,
okay.
Ghana will rise again. I don't know if we can try.
Let's try.
So the first one is Ghana first. The second one is party, papa, pa, and the third one is Ghana will rise again.
I think when we end, we'll go there. For me, let me finish. This is my time, so let me kill it.
Okay, all right.
So for me, I just think that it's interesting, and I just wish them well. But then you put up, you just line up some of the reforms that they will be bringing on board when giving the nod. But as to whether they will be able to gather the people behind themselves and the supporters, the needed supporters to win power, that's where the concern is.
But I think
Because
in the
we've seen-
2024 general
because
election,
we've
Movement
seen-
for Change was a third, right?
Because we've seen
Well,
After
the
NDC and
rejected
MPP.
votes were the third.
because
I
we've
mean,
seen-
For a political
for a
party.
political party.
Okay.
I'm not too sure about that.
wrap
There
up
was
your-
movement
you
for
can
change.
check that one.
Yeah,
Lisa.
wrap up yours.
So
Let me check.
I'm sure you've seen several political parties, the breakaways and how it all ended. You recall CPP, the vibrant CPP. Nobody ever thought that CPP will get to a
become
point
what
where
they are
CPP
today.
would be at where it is currently. And even despite the fact that they lost power, they couldn't get closer to the seats in the Fourth Republic, the beginning of the Fourth Republic. You've seen them over the years even continuing to break away, and the break away too are also breaking away. Now we have PNC and then the
We have
The other
people
one.
fighting over logos like the palm
Exactly.
tree and the coconut tree and
you
colors.
understand?
But-
and so
but-
for Alan, I've known him personally because in 2020 when he was the trade minister, I had the opportunity to follow him on some of the projects and he's a great guy. He has you could see his passion for Ghana, but the MPP didn't give him that opportunity. And now, as to whether Ghanaians will buy into it, for me, that's where my worry is. But then we just wish them well, and then if they need communicators, maybe we are here. We can.
Well,
you
Laboda is
can
applying
come
for
here.
some-
They
but-
mentioned that they are open.
But-
If
but
you want
Philip-
for any position, just walk there, sign up. They will organize elections. Thursday was just a launch.
So they have interim leaders.
Yes, but it's open to anybody. You shouldn't necessarily even be part of the formation.
Okay.
Just walk there. You press like this. You look like a good financial secretary. You should, you should try.
Okay,
Got the best, huh?
but let's look at this from the political angle. The UP, this is not the first UP in the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah.
We have the first UP, the Bourgeois UP, where the MPP tradition itself
Was
originated
birthed.
from.
Yeah.
They pride themselves with the Dankwa Bourgeois tradition, which is from the UP itself. Now, I want to believe that this UP Plus is a formation that wants to bring back the UP tradition.
Yeah.
So for me, as a journalist who follows politics, the person who advised the movement for change to launch their UP party now did greater good for them than they could have done. Because look at the party they are originating from, the MPP. You cannot tell me the MPP is in its best state as we speak now. because the party is in turmoil. They are struggling to get a flag bearer. Even their flag bearer race, they have issues, back and forth. They look at the politics and look at the caliber of people that move from the MPP to the non-UP. So for me, it's a matter of they putting together what they have to put together to get the support. Because the brains, look at Yaobobian Samoa, who is now the General Secretary of the UP, and look at the General Secretary of the MPP. If these two...
Covenanto.
Look at Covenanto, and look at the other guys, okay? Yeah. Look at the caliber of people who are in the UP and who are in the caliber of people who are left in the MPP. Alan Tremantin, look at Alan Tremantin's personality, what he has achieved, and look at all the candidates contesting for the MPP. So for me, this is a great blow for the NPP. And I think the NPP slacked a bit. When these people left, they should have reached out and bring them back. Well, the caliber of people who left the NPP and are now in the... Look at the organization of the event you went on Thursday. The organization is super. So for me, it has dealt a great blow. I just wish that they are able to put together their policies and the policy sells to Ghanaians and they are able to vote for them. Look, we've seen a lot of breakaways, and Ghanaians are always a two-party state. If people argue with it, we've seen parties change, but Ghana has always been a two-party state predominantly. Yeah. Because if Ghanaians are moving away from the NPP, then they are going to other political party. But I don't see any political party coming to add as a third force.
And for me, even if they are not able to win, the mere fact that there is a third force which will compete these two parties, so that, if there's competition, it brings...
Sure, so very important note. The Ghanaian Blasters have qualified for the 2026 World Cup. Yeah. And throughout the qualification towards this win that we have now in the qualification, the Blasters, the Ghanaian television or the state-owned television, did not broadcast even one of the matches. Very worrying.
How sad.
Very sad. And we only have 1 minute to have a tick on it before we move on. I understand that football broadcasting is very expensive. Yeah. And the FIFA gives broadcasting rights to stations or media organizations who can pay. But it's very disappointing that if the Black Stars of Ghana are paying, the Republic of Ghana cannot have the money needed.
Yeah, and you see, not even just the GBC, but no national media could broadcast the match, except they paid for the subscribed.
For me, if
very sad.
The state broadcaster, which is GBC, is not able to broadcast the Black Stars
GBC,
match.
that is 90 years old.
The broadcasting rights, you're supposed to get it from FIFA. It's not like from the state.
Yes.
But then I don't know what process we could have gone through as a country to have it on our national television, because this is a FIFA event taking place within our country. So to focus more on the broadcasting, the national media not being able to broadcast it, I find it some way to understand. But my point is, my interest will be in the Black Stars now that we have been able to qualify. I think this is a conversation we can set to find out what are the processes. What should we do as a country if we want to broadcast such a FIFA event? And who should be held responsible? Is there a way that we can even come in as a country to say that, no, it is your event. We know that you also sold it to DSTV. Is it DSTV or Super Sports? This one. So you also sold it to them. Is there a clause in that contract that would allow the nation or the nation playing to also own parts of to have access to the broadcast? So this is a matter of legal for me. I want to take it from the legal perspective, and I don't want to solely blame the states, but my interest will be in the Black Stars being able to qualify, which now we heard some people are even suggesting some players we should.
That's a matter I want us to, because we don't have time. Let's quickly touch on it.
Please give him all the time on
so, that. No. So some of the Black Stars, some of the Ghanaian internationals who, Eddie Nketiah, for example, who we approached when we were playing the qualifications and we needed their help, they didn't show up.
Yeah,
but now that Ghana has qualified, we are getting indication that they are showing interest. And it's a divided conversation. Should they be brought in? Should they not be brought in? Let's Philip take this and you take it and then we wrap up.
Well, I mean, you reached out to me when you were playing qualifiers. I wasn't available. I don't think it should be a big deal. You've won and you've qualified, and this is the time I'm available. I don't think it's a big deal. If you think you have the space and you need me, you should come. Because I'm coming with expertise.
Those who played the qualification and left their clubs, came and sacrificed for the matches, played everything, they were available.
This is subjective.
You only come when the food is cooked and we are going to eat.
Oh,
then
no.
you come and enjoy and take the glory at the worst stage.
It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to look at it that way.
But that's what it is.
Maybe they were not available, genuinely. Maybe they were not available.
Help me here. When we were looking for help to get the qualification to go to the global stage, they were nowhere to be found. In fact, not as if we didn't reach out to them. We understand that the football management and the coaches of this country reach out to these people, ask them to come and help us qualify. They didn't come.
For me, I'll take this as speculation that they reached out to them and they didn't come.
No, it's not speculation. Philip, it's not speculation. In fact, I monitored an interview with the Black Stars coach, now Coach Otoado, who said that at the time they reached out to them and they didn't come.
Okay,
maybe
so
they were not available. We are being emotional. I think we are being
This is what I would
emotional.
have done if I was the coach or I was part of the officials who would decide who to play and who not to play. Sometimes, let's deal with the matters in context. So I reached out to you. What was the posture? Was it, even if they declined, was it from a posture of at that time, the circumstances being beyond them?
Wow. Exactly my
or
point.
It was just snobbing because, oh, Masa, and I'm to do baby. You understand?
But this is a debate that we want to know what you think about. Yeah. Should they be allowed to play at the world stage for the Black Stars, or they should not be allowed at all? And what should we be doing so that in our playoff at the world stage at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the Black Stars of Ghana we can monitor or view our matches live on our local televisions? So we want to hear from you beyond the stories on Bullet TV. My name is Prince Kwame Kudoda. I will do this with my colleague Philip Abutiate and my favorite Job Kwabena Laboda,
so he's your favorite. Okay.
Who always fights with me, but still we still do the work. And I want to hear from you and want you to tune in every Saturday and Sunday here on Bullet TV for this very important, your favorite political analytical show where journalists have a take on national issues unfiltered. My name is Prince Kwame Kuda. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
You fight with me, I fight with you.